Well, thank you so much, guys. While pregnancy is a beautiful journey, it can be quite emotionally taxing on mothers. Now, according to the World Health Organization, about 13% of women experience antenatal and postnatal depression globally. However, in stark contrast, more than 40% of South African women are at risk, which is 4 times more than the global average. To break down these statistics, I'm joined this morning by Nicole Jennings and Shokat Makjenka from Pharma Dynamics. How are you, Nicole and Shokat? Good to have you on the show this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
I'm alarmed at these statistics. It really does raise so many concerns for me. But before we do that, let's first talk about mothers suffering from antenatal and postnatal depression. I asked you before this, Shokat, is there any way to know if you're going to get it, or what exactly is this type of depression?
Okay.
And how is it different from the normal baby blues as well?
I was about to start over there with the baby blues.
Yeah.
Because with baby blues, one needs to understand that with a woman, she's going through all these changes for 9 months. And then suddenly there's hormonal changes, there's psychological changes, there's fatigue that all sets in. So with your baby blues, it happens normally straight after pregnancy for a few days, and then it kind of, then it's over.
Yeah.
But then with your postnatal depression, it carries on for a lot longer, and it doesn't have to start straight after pregnancy. It can happen within the first year of pregnancy and then carries on. The funny statistic is that there are men also that suffer from postnatal depression.
Yeah. And of course, that's the unspoken thing, because we don't expect men to suffer from that.
Yeah.
But Nicole, those statistics are really alarming, saying that South African women, 40% of South African women suffer. This is 4 times more than the global average. Why are we more at risk, or why are we suffering more than women on a global platform?
Okay, so in individuals that are genetically more predisposed towards depression or mental illness, environmental factors can play a role. And of course, in South Africa, we're a developing country, so we have very high incidence of poverty in the country.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the most recent report by the South African Police Service indicated that 1 in 5 women in this country experience intimate partner abuse.
Oh my word.
So, you know, these factors can certainly contribute and bring about an episode of postnatal depression. In individuals that are likely to develop it. That
makes a lot of sense. Shockingly for our country, but it does make a lot of sense. Shokat, when it comes to warning signs, what are some of the things we should be recognizing as a warning sign, and not just like kind of disregarding it as being, I'm overwhelmed?
Okay. The first thing is the length of time. If it happens for about 14 days and longer.
Yeah.
The second thing could be a combination of symptoms like persistent feeling of sadness, loss of interest, feeling down all the time, either wanting to sleep too much or sleep too little. And this is where the family and the partner is very important, to able to recognize this in the next person, because they may not see it themselves, but the partner may recognize it and say, listen, we may need some intervention over here, because this is not just your baby blues, as we discussed earlier on. That happens very often, but this may be a bit more than baby blues.
Yeah. I think we're hearing so many stories of women in the media industry, for instance, who are really going through drastic measures because they're not recognizing or understanding what's happening to their bodies. Why is it so important, Nicole, that we diagnose? What is the long-term outcomes of not realizing that there is a problem that needs to be treated right now?
Yes, well, I think, you know, initially when you have that infant with postnatal depression, that child is often completely dependent on a mother, especially single mothers, for care. So when it comes to nourishing the child regularly, making sure that the child gets enough sleep, you know, all of these things can be impacted if the mother is struggling with depression. Of course, there is also, like with all depressions, there's also a risk of suicide. So it's very risky, and it's extremely important to speak up. If you think that you are struggling with depression, something that doesn't happen enough, because it is still so stigmatized, and there's so much pressure for mothers to, you know, to be able to deal with this life change, that people often don't speak up, and they don't get the help they need to make sure that they manage it properly.
Let's say, for instance, that there is somebody watching right now who has realized that there's a problem. There is something that I have been not, you know, taking note of or disregarding for a while, but I need help. What are some of the tools and resources that they could implement to start acting and treating this today?
I think fortunately in our day and age, there's quite a bit available. Firstly, there's their local clinics that they can go to, like with the nursing sisters, who are trained, their doctors or their GPs, or they can go online to our Let's Talk mh.co.za website. There's tons of information on mental illness, specifically depression.
Yeah.
Yes, and we encourage people there to tell their story and to share what assisted them in dealing with their depression, to provide hope and inspiration for other people that are still in that very dark space.
Sure. Well, those are the statistics. 40% of South African women are dealing with prenatal or postnatal depression, so you're not alone out there. Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you so much, Shirkat. I think this has been highly informative and really, really good talk. Now, if you feel that you or a loved one is suffering from antenatal or postnatal depression, consult your local clinic or GP. You are not alone, and resources are available. You can also visit Pharma Dynamics' Let's Talk website at letstalkmh.co.za for more support and information.
Pharma Dynamics, effective, affordable healthcare.